Alright guys, we have reached a final in Montpellier. It is just as I predicted, the second seed Félix Auger-Aliassime against the American qualifier Aleksandar Kovacevic or Kovacevic, however you say his name. So, as I said, this was the final I predicted. The difference was that both of these players, these finalists, ended up winning their matches in straight sets, not 3 sets like I predicted. But nonetheless, they're both in the final. Let's talk a little bit about the matches. I basically watched both of them in full, pretty much, because like I said, I did not have much to do today. So, the first semifinal was Félix Auger-Aliassime against the Dutchman Jesper de Jong, who was actually only a couple months older than Auger-Aliassime. It was pretty straightforward match. I mean, actually not exactly, but De Jong, he didn't play too bad. He was okay. He actually had 2 set points in that second set, so this could have easily gone 3, and he was also up a break previously in that set after a poor game from Auger-Aliassime, it must be said, basically handed that break to him. But then Auger-Aliassime got the break right back, and the set eventually went to a tiebreak after Auger-Aliassime saved those 2 set points at 4-5 on his serve. He won the tiebreak 7 points to 4. So, about the stats, Auger-Aliassime, he did 60% first serves in. That is not that good. That's a little too low. He should be landing a bit more than that, at least. 31 winners, 29 unforced errors. So that is okay. Maybe a few too many unforced errors. It was a decent match from him. Solid. I guess solid. He's been solid this whole week, pretty much, you can say. Now on to the second semifinal, which was Andrei Rublev, the top seed. He went down against Aleksandar Kovacevic, like I predicted, but Kovacevic actually did this in straight sets. But I'll be surprised, of course not. Like I said, Rublev has been on the decline. He is I believe 2-3 now is his record this year. He lost the first round of the Australian Open to the Brazilian hyped kid Fonseca. We all know he lost that in straight sets. He lost his first round in Hong Kong. I think that was his first tournament, to Fabian Marchand in 3 sets. And now he's lost here at the semifinals to Kovacevic. He did win his previous 2 matches in this tournament, but you can't take much away from that, like I said in the previous video, because one was against Eubanks, who was basically a commentator more than a player, and the second one was against Basilashvili, who just came back out of nowhere, and he didn't even finish the match. He didn't even finish the first set. He retired being down 5-2 and 3 set points to Rublev. He just gave up, and that's probably because he's a fixer, so he didn't want to actually lose a set, so the bets just become void. But about this match, Kovacevic, he did 26 winners and 25 unforced errors, so that is okay. It's not the best, but it's decent. And he did only 53% first serves in, so that's pretty low, and he's no sinner. So he doesn't have the ground game that can just beat everyone without making first serves, so he should definitely raise that by at least a decent margin. So actually kind of similar stats in a way between Kovacevic and Auger-Aliassime in their semifinal matches. Not too many first serves, a solid performance in the winner unforced errors department, nothing spectacular. What was spectacular was Kovacevic's match against Bublik, which I did not watch, but I watched the highlights. I heard apparently he did 33 winners and 6 unforced errors somehow. Now, I don't know what Bublik was doing, but maybe Kovacevic just played the match of his life, actually, because that is a serious winner to unforced error ratio. But here he did a bit more average, decent, good match. 1 more winner than unforced error. And so, who do I believe will win the final match between Kovacevic and Auger-Aliassime? The head-to-head is one love for Auger-Aliassime. Their only meeting was last year in Cincinnati on hard courts, but those were outdoor hard courts, where Auger-Aliassime gave Kovacevic a beatdown, basically 6-3, 6-1. And that was not too long ago, I guess. It was the second half of last year. So my prediction for this match, I will definitely give the edge to Auger-Aliassime, as I think most people would do. He's a clear favorite, but it might not be that easy for him. Kovacevic he looked decent in his match against Rublev. He got off to a 3-love flying start, and then after that he was just hitting good shots, hitting some good backhands. It's just some, like half of them work, half of them unforced errors. That explains the winner unforced error ratio is basically even. Hitting some good forehands and backhands, and sometimes he makes it, sometimes he doesn't. So Auger-Aliassime indoor hard courts is clearly his best surface. He's maybe even much better there than, on average at least, than he is on any other surface. And he's won several titles there already. So I will definitely give the edge to him. This is also Kovacevic's first ATP Main Tour final, I believe. So I will not pick him to win that in his first final against Auger-Aliassime, the much more experienced player in that regard. So I will have Auger-Aliassime winning this final in 3 sets.